everybody, I hope that you are well. In my latest video filmed in Rotorua, New Zealand, which I will just link up here, I promised that I would give you an astrophotography tutorial for beginners, specifically on a Canon G7X, which is a very popular vlogging camera for YouTubers. Christian is a stargazing guide and his housemates are semi-professional astrophotographers. So being surrounded by all of these great people, it was kind of no surprise that I did develop a little interest in astro myself. I am by no means an expert and have absolutely no qualifications, but if you are like me and just want to be able to take a really cool shot of the night sky but don't want to have a headache and get to know all of those stupid technicalities which everyone goes massively into detail over, then watch on, because that is exactly what I'm going to be teaching you how to do in this video. So firstly, I'm going to talk briefly about three things: shutter speed, aperture, and ISO or ISO. Shutter speed is the length of time that the shutter is open for. When you hear the ch on a camera, everything in between the ch and the k is captured. If you take a photo of someone doing a mid-air long jump and your shutter speed is half a second, your shot is going to be incredibly blurry, because think of how much that jumper will have travelled in half a second, and all of that movement that they've just done is put together in the one still photo. Shutter speed also affects the light in our image. In short, the longer the shutter speed, the more light it lets in, and it doesn't take much for this to be affected. If you have a 1 second shutter speed in broad daylight and you haven't changed any other settings, you will more than likely turn out with just a bright white canvas as your photo. Shutter speeds can actually vary from 1/1000th of a second being the quickest to several minutes being the longest. And then there's aperture, also can be known as the f-stop. It very simply means that there is a little hole in the camera and we can adjust the size of this hole. The bigger the hole is, the more light that gets let in, and the smaller the hole is, the less light that gets in. And that very simply is aperture. Its scale looks like this, so it's f and then a number. Annoyingly, you do have to think of it in opposites. The smaller the f number, the bigger the hole, the more light that gets let in. Or the bigger the number, the smaller the hole, and so less light gets in. And then ISO is basically the sensitivity of the camera. The higher the number, the more sensitive it is, and again it's linked to light, the more light it lets in. If it's less sensitive, so the ISO number will be lower, the less light gets in, so the shot will be darker. However, the more sensitive the shot, the more likely it is to be grainy as well. So if graininess is your problem, then consider bumping down the ISO. Okay, so now you've hopefully got your head around those things, I'm going to show you how to adjust these settings on a Canon G7X. First thing you want to do is change the top dial to manual mode, so flick it round to M. The shutter speed value is at the bottom left hand side. I currently am controlling it with the ring function, which is here, and looks like the green donut here. You spin that and it can go from 1/2000th of a second, so that's a very fast shutter speed, right up to 60 seconds, which is obviously an incredibly slow shutter speed. Aperture is in the middle, so we have the F, then the number. This is controlled using your small ring on the right hand side. Give that a spin. Remember, this one is opposite, so the higher we're going, the darker it gets, and the lower we go, the lighter it gets. Sometimes these two can be the other way around. If that's the case, you could just press ring function and change what you want to be as the ring function. Then ISO is over on the right hand side, and we can amend this literally just by clicking the middle button. My camera takes you straight to ISO. You may have to go up or down to find it. Then you can move across to adjust the number. Remembering, the higher the ISO, the more light is let in. Now actually taking the astro shot, there are a few things that you can do to make sure you have the optimum conditions for a good shot. First of all, you want to be somewhere as dark as possible. On top of a mountain, in the middle of a large secluded field, anywhere where it's pretty dark. If you are in the middle of a lit up street, in the middle of a city, right next to your house which has lights on, or anywhere where it's kind of affected by light pollution a lot, your shot's probably gonna be crap. You also don't want there to be any torches on when you're taking the shot or anything bright around you, unless you physically want that light in the subject of the shot purposefully, but that's another story. Preferably you want a clear night. Check the weather before you go. An overcast evening will obviously do you no good. Sometimes the odd light wispy cloud is okay and may even add to your shot, but most of the time you want a clear night. You're going to need a tripod, or at the very least just something steady which you can put your camera on where you know it's not going to move an inch. You need complete stillness, and I just use this Joby Gorilla tripod. So if you think you've kind of done all of these things, then it's time to shoot. Do not expect your very first shot to be perfect, because it's massively dependent on the conditions you're in and is massively a game of trial and error. Personally, as a general rule, I tend to start with my shutter speed on 5 seconds, your aperture on f1.8 and your ISO on 3200. Take the shot, see how it goes. Make sure it's in focus. With a Canon G7X being autofocus, sometimes it does have a wee spasm and just goes completely out of focus. If the shot is too bright, consider adjusting the shutter speed to 4 seconds. Maybe change the aperture to f2.2 and vice versa to things if your shot is too dark. Play around with your angles, your subject, maybe shoot from behind some branches of a tree, maybe have someone sitting on a bench in the foreground. Do make sure that they do not move a muscle though, because otherwise your shot is going to be very blurry. I've taken some cool shots of Christian where he's shining a torch just down on the ground and it kind of looks like he's being abducted by aliens. And then after that is post-production, or editing your shot. There's no right way to do this. In my opinion, it's all about personal preference and how you personally like your shots to look. Personally, I like to give mine a pink or purple tint. I bump up the clarity, play around with the shadows, and just, again, it's just trial and error, seeing what looks good with that particular shot. Do be patient. Like I said, it's massively a game of trial and error. No two scenes or landscapes will likely require exactly the same settings. I hope this video has helped you, taught you something maybe, or just made something a little bit clearer. If it has, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you've managed to actually take a successful astro shot. I will be so proud. It's one of those things which I always looked at and thought, oh, that's so cool, but I just always thought, oh, but it's only the super brainy, clever, knowledgeable, geeky people who can do that. But it's so not the case. Big thanks to Jake and Joe from South of Home Photography who taught me everything that I know. Go follow them on Facebook and Instagram. I'll link all of their links down below. Their work is absolutely awesome. They do have rather more advanced gear than a Canon G7X though, so their pictures are particularly incredible. Please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. I have about 3 or 4 more videos in the New Zealand road trip series, and then I will be moving on to doing so many more videos like this. So tutorials, advice, backpacking tips, chatty Q&As, all of the above. If there is any video in particular that you'd like to see me make, then just let me know and I'll add it to the list. Happy travels, happy astro snapping, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!